living fast and dying young. This chapter unravels the mysteries that exist surrounding millionaires and although it might sound irrational, why they are the most common people to file for bankruptcy. An example can be Stanley Burrell. Raised by a single mother and 8 siblings, he grew up in an unstable and dangerous environment. At 11, he was discovered and hired as a bad boy for a major league of baseball. By the age of 27, he was a superstar musician globally known as MC Hammer, having sold millions of records worth $33 million. Only a few years later, Stanley filed for bankruptcy with a $13 million debt. We can conclude that he was unable to manage the concept of saving with a developing compulsion to splurge. People who are seeing this from an outsider point of view would say this is a foolish and rather irrational way of spending money. This chapter focuses on explaining why some people decide to take a fast trajectory in life, involving risk-taking, impulsivity, and dangerous circumstances, and why others decide to take a slow trajectory, delaying gratification and playing it safe. Life history theory. Life history theory emphasizes how life for all organisms is divided into two important categories: somatic effort and reproductive effort. Somatic effort would be the energy an animal expends to grow and maintain a healthy body, whereas reproductive effort would be the energy an animal expends to replicate the organism's genes. Some species invest most of their energy in reproductive effort, normally having a big amount of offspring. Humans, on the other hand, spend a lot of energy into the somatic effort as an investment in future reproduction. We take time to reach sexual maturity and prepare to care and raise for our children. For us and other species, successful reproduction is subdivided into two very different tasks: mating effort, the energy we spend on things like competing for status, attracting a mate, and copulating, and parenting effort, energy we spend to ensure that our offspring will be able to survive and reproduce on their own. The author proposes three important life stages. Inside these different stages, he will give us a better understanding on why our priorities change as we go and further develop. We have the somatic effort in the child stage, mating effort in the puberty stage, and finally parenting effort found in adulthood. In chapter 2, the author explains the concept of subselves and divisions, and they are partials of the individual mind. Each subself appears in a certain stage of the person's development and has a different priority and therefore interest. They serve an individual function that will allow us to survive in a certain way. All animals, including humans, need time to survive and grow before they can reproduce. The somatic effort, the first stage, builds a necessary foundation before the next one can occur. During this stage, the child will develop physically, build up their immune system, and start learning social skills that will enable them to find a group of friends and to create a social circle. These subselves that will appear in this stage are the self-protection and disease avoidance subselves.
Mating effort. Once the kid grows significantly, the affiliation subself will appear. They will start being concerned about making friends and asking themselves, am I popular? Am I good looking? Am I attractive? Therefore, worrying about their mating effort unconsciously. During this stage, during the teens, humans tend to be way more reckless. They are likely to do drugs or to have risky sexual behaviors. This might be a method of impressing their friends or possible mates with their recklessness. The author concluded that this behavior is also due to the testosterone surge that the pubertal stage induces. This hormonal rush suppresses the self-protection and the disease avoidance subselves that were highly active when they were younger. This, therefore, makes the pubertal stage particularly dangerous. The final stage, the parenting stage, is associated with forming a long-term bond with another person. It extends even into grandparenting, so it lasts for a lifetime, for the rest of your lifetime. The parenting stage brings decreases in aggression and competitiveness. It has been proven that testosterone levels go down when a person gets married, and even decreases even further after having the first child. The parenting stage will bring the mate retention and the keen cares themselves. As explained, our priorities will shift as we leave one stage and enter another one. This shifting in our priorities as we get older also has a certain effect on our financial decisions. So now we're talking about money. For example, in the second stage, during the mating effort, high testosterone levels lead to the greatest appetite for risk, adventure, and gambling. Scientists have proven that during bets, the profit of high testosterone levels are 8 times higher. Testosterone increases persistence and fearlessness. So these peaks are considered an important factor of risk-taking in entrepreneurial decisions. The testosterone-juiced young people are not just willing to stomach more risks, but they tend to be more aggressive in their deals with other business people. Now, let's compare fast versus slow strategies. Different studies on delayed gratification have proposed that impulsiveness ends up being bad for development, while delayed gratification meant better results. Other researchers have found that impulsivity is better for bigger and greater results, although these results might also be uncertain. But when asked which one of these two approaches is considered better, the answer, following the chapter guidelines, is that it simply depends. Looking at the evolutionary perspective, we are suggested with the idea that some people are better off with a fast and risky strategy, while other people are better off in a slow and steady strategy. Each strategy is better suited for a different environment the individual grew up in. Fast environments are dangerous and unpredictable. If they delay investing in reproductive effort, they might risk not reproducing at all. Slow strategies, on the contrary, are more adaptive, they are safer, and in a certain way they are more predictable. So they invest in their somatic development so in the future they can be better at the last stage of parenting, which they are sure they will get to. Some people are faster than others, and some people are simply slower. This is associated with different psychologies and orientations from family to sex to money.
Slow strategies. Late bloomers grow less fast and have fewer children. Personality traits. Cautious and calculated. Fast strategies. Early puberty, age faster, and sexually precocious. They used to have more children. Personality traits. Reckless, horny, and short-sighted. The explanation as to why some people follow a certain strategy and other people choose another is in our genes and in our environment. For example, taking certain sexual risks at younger ages is related to a physical dangerous environment, where violent crimes such as homicide, assault, and rape take place. A fast strategy also develops when the environment is uncertainly and constantly changing. For example, families that tend to move from place to place, or children who repeatedly watch people move in and out of the house. It has been evolutionarily adaptive for people that grow in dangerous environments to follow this type of strategy. Environments like these are associated with shortened lifespan and with constant uncertainty about where resources are coming from or if they are coming at all. Therefore, this strategy emphasizes getting the rewards and making use of them immediately. From these studies, it's proven that our childhood environment plays a bigger role than society recognizes on later developments. Even if our young minds are not ready or consciously analyze our environment, our brains are nevertheless encoding everything that is going around us. It's not coincidence that many people who live fast come from this difficult, traumatic childhood. It becomes adaptive because in these life environments, life is expected to be nasty, brutish, and short. They basically don't have the emotion to think about what tomorrow will bring, so everything they think about is the now, the present day, and the moment. From a life history perspective, then, the wisdom of waiting depends on the nature of your environment. It might not be the best choice at all the time, in every circumstance. The author compared life strategies to a race. Slow strategies are a long march with low variance. They are the backbone of every community. While, on the other hand, fast strategies are on the sprint with high variance. This riskiness and short-sightedness led some to rise to the top, but many more into debt, addiction, or prison. Fast strategies are also related to massive health problems and tragic accidents. We conclude that your fast or slow tendency is deeply imprinted in the individual psychologist since he or she is a child. Research has been done to understand when it's most common to bring these tendencies to the surface. The conclusions say that these strategies are most shown in stressful situations. Experiments with monkeys have shown that when they are exposed to stress as adults after being raised in a safe, predictable environment, monkeys cope well and explore multiple solutions to the problem presented. On the other hand, monkeys raised in unpredictable environments panic when presented upon a stressful situation. Research has shown that there is a similar pattern in humans. Therefore, childhood environments influence life history strategies. Impulsive behavior might reveal a deeper logic when considered from the evolutionary psychologist's perspective. For fast strategies, taking chance for a big win now is better than never having even a shot. Life history theory tells us that humans proceed through a particular development sequence, with different subself emerging during different life stages. Some people go through this sequence slowly, but others go faster. After analyzing this chapter, we develop a question to the author. If a child is raised in a slow strategy environment, but suddenly a crisis in his environment changes it to a fast strategy for a prolonged period, will this have any effect on the later development? Will the subject adapt to the change? Or the strategy we first adopt is the one that sticks with us forever? Thank you for your attention.